welcome to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Well, this week we are discussing the Aam Aadmi Party, which is really lurching from one crisis to another. One minister has been caught on tape, which is sex CD. Another leader has written a bizarre defense of his, which has further got him into trouble with the National Commission of Women. And let alone the leader himself, Arvind Kejriwal, who went to Punjab in his Conquest Punjab Yatra. He's been shown black flags over there. So what exactly is happening in the Aam Aadmi Party? That is going to be the topic of our discussion today. Joining me on the roundtable is Mrs. Lalita Kumar Mangalam. She is, as you know, the chairperson of the National Commission for Women. We have Mrs. Kiran Walia. She is the former minister in the Delhi government under Sheila Dikshit. She was the Minister for Women and Child Welfare. We have Mr. Arun Bhatia, former IS officer. He is also an AAP supporter. And of course, there's Sabha Naqvi, who wrote a book on the Aam Aadmi Party, the rise of the Aam Aadmi Party, called Capital Conquest. And she's, as you know, a political commentator also. Welcome. Ma'am, I'll begin with you, Mr. Kumar Mangalam, first. What exactly is the case against Ashutosh? You know, you have summoned him. What has been the proceeding so far?
Well, let me make one thing clear. It's not a criminal case as such.
Okay.
Under the mandate of the National Commission for Women, we are supposed to uphold and protect women's rights, and anything that offends or, how do you say, in any way is some sort of danger to women and women's rights, etc. Now, while we did not take any stand on the sex tape itself, that's not our job. That's left to the Delhi police and the investigation agencies, who will say right, wrong, guilty, not guilty, etc. What we, and from day one, have been saying is that the tone and tenor of the blog towards women is very very patriarchal and very misogynistic. It seems to suggest that over history, or historically, it is a fact that so many people have had so many illicit relationships, etc. If nobody ever said anything about it, what's the harm with it being done today? Now, the question is not whether who has had, who has not had. The question is that the suggestion that if it's been said it's okay, why can't it be said it's okay today? We took also objection to it because one of the biggest things that we fight in this country is this terribly patriarchal attitude, mansikta as we say, throughout the country, which is basically the root of all violence eventually that is perpetrated against women. And we thought that from a responsible ex-journalist, also the spokesperson of what is now called a national party, obviously they're in power in Delhi, and a party that says that we're going to protect women. Now, protection of women is not merely physical. A lot of it has to go beyond that. So we said our opinion is that this is very obnoxious, misogynistic, etc. And we are could you please reply to us by return of facts? Otherwise, turn up here on the 8th. He did come there yesterday. It was not a criminal summons as is being made out or has been made out. But it was not that we were saying that
allegation is why is his charges are why am I being singled out? There have been others, and he's raked the name of the Prime Minister.
No,
also.
Look, he raked the name of the Prime Minister in his so-called reply, which was not a reply at all, but which he wanted us to treat as a complaint. I mean, he wanted to treat it as both as one, which could be done. Now, that's a separate issue. But the fact is that I don't think anybody is aware of the number of suo motos the National Commission of Women has sent over the last 25 years to many people across the board, regardless of what party they may or may not belong to, many people who don't belong to political parties also. Now, whether it was Mulayam Singh, which was before my time, whether it was to people from both within and outside of the BJP, again, like I said, regardless of what party they may belong to, whether it was Gujarat or some other state ruled by whether it was the Congress or the AAP or any other party or Trinamool, whatever. Wherever we have found we have problems, we have issued suo moto, and many people have been summoned. It's just that perhaps it's not come to the press's attention. Perhaps that's why he was under that wrong impression.
Sabha, do you agree with what has been said so far, and is Ashutosh right in feeling singled out?
No, I don't. But you know that we've already debated this. I don't even think. Can I jump into the Aam Aadmi Party?
Definitely.
The larger question that we are here to address is the question of what is happening to the Aam Aadmi Party. There seems to be a story a day. There seems to be eruptions. The various phrases I see used on TV are implosions, explosions, eruptions, scandals, and all. Number one, the Aam Aadmi Party is obviously under a lot of public scanner. Number two, please bear in mind that the Aam Aadmi Party, I think, is headed in the direction that forces which became political parties ended up where there were anti-system forces. This happened in the case of Lalu Yadav, this happened in the case of Mayawati. Now, they were all mercilessly pilloried, targeted, everything by the media. The difference with the Aam Aadmi Party is that the leadership does not belong to that subaltern community. Arvind Kejriwal was a conventional middle class person who took on the role of entering politics. But the phenomena is somewhat similar if you talk to the Aam Aadmi Party and then you talk to the media, the sort of hysterical sort of stories that we see all the time, is that they, after a point, they say, we don't care. You see, you must understand that. We don't care. There will be a section of our vote which will never leave us. Last night I had dinner at a BJP MP's house. He was saying that is true, that a section of the vote in Delhi will not go. And even your LG, who is obviously locked in a vicious battle, I saw him in an interview saying, I can see there is some good work in education and health, innovative work. This is what he has said.
Okay.
So in spite of everything, you've got to remember, people don't care about Chara Ghotala. They go and vote for Lalu Yadav. People don't care about Mayawati's Christmas birthday cake and all of this. I think the AAP is in the process of becoming that, failing which if they don't become that, they are in trouble because they are an anti-system force and the system across party lines is against them. But because they have challenged everybody.
They feel the threat.
In fact, Priya, let's put it categorically on the table. Till now, the AAP has damaged the Congress much more than the BJP. They have facilitated the rise of the BJP. The whole Anna movement, the climate that it created, you know. So they have, and even in future elections where they hope to succeed, I mean, you know, they are, the Congress, which is Punjab, the Congress is a natural alternative to the Akalis BJP alliance, which is supposed to be facing huge anti-incumbency.
And now AAP has come to the anti-Akali vote.
Come over there.
Well, you know, Sabha has raised some very interesting points over here. I mean, what I found most interesting also was the fact that Aam Aadmi Party says we don't care. You know, what is discussed here, it doesn't affect our vote bank. Is that a brave attitude or is it going to work for them?
I think it's a very arrogant attitude because I think they do know that the ground is slipping. Because they're always diverting the attention of people. If you notice something big happens, the next day there is a big advertisement about either schools or something, you know, something maybe very, very small, but you have a full page advertisement. So they're very good at diverting attention, but people have now seen the game or a blame game. You know, center, lieutenant governor, powers that be, because you wanted to put everybody in jail before he came. So it's a very interesting phenomenon because it's unprecedented in our country, where you get almost the entire Vidhan Sabha with you and you win elections. So this huge mandate came, and I think that's how Mr. Bhatia or people like him or others may have been carried away by this very magical spell that they are like angels. They are going to change the whole discourse of politics.
And the way of doing politics.
And the way of engaging themselves. Now Mr. Anna Hazare himself has expressed he's very disappointed. But apart from Mr. Anna Hazare saying anything, people are realizing. So there were two moral grounds on which they rode to power. One was India against corruption, and they would be coming out with a different style of politics. The other was in the wake of the Nirbhaya case. Now, in the wake of the Nirbhaya case, this whole issue of women protection and women's empowerment became a big issue, and you see the university students running, you know, to their meetings and so on. So they galvanized everybody. So all these people, the kind of politics they are engaged in, and excuse me, it will take me a whole show to tell you that how at least 15 of them have been caught only on women issues. And you know, regarding modesty, regarding issues
of cases for you.
Even Sandeep Kumar, the latest, if it is true that a woman has to go to the MLA for a ration card, and if at all, now the case is being probed. But what Mr. Ashutosh did, for which you're having a discussion today, probably jumped the gun. He should have waited as to what the case is about.
Before defense.
And in a preemptory way, he's saying that, you know, all that he said, a literary piece of a kind. But now I'm sure he's embarrassed. So a whole lot of these cases are actually pointing out to not only misgovernance, they're wrongly placed ideals,
Okay,
so-called ideals.
Mr. Bhatia, she's made a good point about the fact that
Really?
15 cases against women.
You serious?
15 cases.
I can give you.
This is the party that, and the Nirbhaya example, I found that very interesting also, because that was a movement that really caught the imagination.
Now I'm just wondering, ma'am, where to start from, because all the panelists
Not all. You have-
are bashing up the Aam Aadmi Party.
No,
So
Sabha made a good point in their favor.
So let me start with the Women's Commission. The first baffling thing about the Women's Commission is that people don't understand what is this notice or summons about? What is wrong with the blog? How has he demeaned women? What has he said about women? Has he called them names? Has he abused them as a gender? What has he done? It's not a criminal notice. What do you mean by tone and tenor? It's the worst type of definition for summoning a person. It is totally meaningless, devoid of substantive content, and can be interpreted in 110 ways. Now, my interpretation is that it's a very good blog. Nehru, Gandhi, we deify our leaders. They're not gods. My Experiments with Truth talks about Gandhi's weird ideas on sex and celibacy and the experimentation he did. So what if Ashutosh brought that out? Are you going to summon Gandhi? So it's really horrific that an institution of the state can summon people like this. It affects our freedom of speech. It's a frightening thought that this power can be abused in this way. We want to know good. If you summon him, tell us why.
Okay, can I ask her to tell you why? Then you can complete.
No,
I'm going to come back to
this
you.
point.
Oh, there's more to it, okay.
In effect, what has been achieved is that you've disgraced this chap. And I was also wondering, I said, what has he written in this blog that he's being summoned by the commission? And then your people did some research and sent it to me. I found nothing wrong with it. And I think it's a healthy thing to be able to criticize your leaders. Nehru, Gandhi, they did good things, they did bad things. So he's done the right thing, but he's one of the few Indians who's done that.
Have you overreacted and jumped the gun, as he said?
No, you see, the problem is that the entire issue is being diverted to Gandhiji and Nehru, etc. The National Commission of Women did not question what he wrote about historical things, okay? Nor did we, and he did not give us the opportunity to ask him if he actually has any written or living proof of what he has claimed in his blog. Now, but that is not what we called him for. When you write in the blog that, I can bring it up on my phone, I've just switched it off, that, you know, nowadays in India, young people, if they are not virgins, I mean, if they are virgins, they have no standing, etc. Roughly, I'm not quoting him verbatim because I don't have it in front of me. It's extremely demeaning to women. With all due respect to you, sir, I don't mean to sound very aggressive. But the fact is that often men don't understand the nuances of these things that are written. 99.999% of women in this country, including the 4 women who are sitting at this table who are possibly the 0.1% of women in this country, live under the yoke of an extremely dominating and pernicious thing that is called patriarchy. Patriarchy, most of it. No, let me finish.
And we agree with you.
No,
but we are talking of this specific notice.
Exactly. So let me explain.
It's a man's world and it's bad.
Allow me to explain.
I'm sorry.
Okay. When a person in public life, regardless of whoever he may be, in this case it is somebody who belonged to the AAP, but it's not as if we haven't asked similar questions of people who belong from other parties. That's, I know, the next accusation. When somebody in public life writes a blog like this, which is a public blog, obviously it's on the public thing.
Ma'am, tell us what is wrong with it.
You sort of feed into, exactly,
the
you
words,
feed.
The words that offend you. Tell me.
I don't have the exact thing in front of me. I'm telling you again and again.
Paraphrase it.
I'm telling you, I think you're refusing to listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm telling you from a woman's point of view, all right? When you say that if I'm a young girl and I'm not a virgin, I have no social standing or I have no social value, it's very, very insulting. Other men have made other... Yes, he did. Other men have made equally, if not more, obnoxious remarks, but I'm not comparing his remarks to anybody else. We did not send him a summons based on so-and-so said this or so-and-so did this. So we are calling you, why did you do this? That's not what we said at all. And I am not saying that other people have not done this. Again, that's not part of the summon or part of this discussion at all. The discussion itself is being sort of sidelined We have not said, why have you questioned Jawaharlal Nehru or Mahatma Gandhi? That, though we have got complaints, or Bajpayee,
Sabha, we just
or
need to
Mao.
take a quick break. So
No,
this
though, let me just say that we actually got lots of complaints, but that's not part of this. Written complaints, I can give you 2 names.
Okay. No, but we'll take a quick break and we're going to come back to this, and I'm going to come back to Sabha and also to Mr. Bhatia, but just a short break. Welcome back to the NewsX Sunday Garden Roundtable. We're here discussing the Aam Aadmi Party, but also the case of Ashutosh in particular. Sabha, you wanted to make a point.
I think the problem, Lalita ji, is not the content. What business does the National Commission of Women have taking up such a trivial matter of a person's opinion blog? Yes. You have surely got more pressing matters. Yes. You know, given the problems women face. So that is why one cannot. No, you must. You said you must listen to me. You must hear me out also, and you know that you know I have great respect for you and all that. So there are 2-3 issues that your action brings in. Number one, there is a perception which is not entirely flawed. Across the party, people will admit that there is an attempt to harass and to block the efforts that the Aam Aadmi Party makes. Perhaps you may think they've invited it on themselves because of the articulation that Arvind Kejriwal and all have used, but it seems that you also became party to this whole relentless inke piche pado. It seemed like that because there is no criminality in what Ashutosh has written. It is an opinion, you may not like it, you may not, no, it cannot at all form, so why are you getting into it?
You know, this is not the only work we do, summoning people. The National Commission of Women over the last 25-26 years has done an enormous amount of work and has had as heads of the commission some extremely venerable and efficient and very active.
I'm sure you have, but
right,
not
including this. On the day this blog was sent, it was not the only work we're done. It almost seems to sound like you think that the only work we do is
no,
I'm
saying in fact the contrary. You do such important work, don't do this.
In fact, the day the summons was sent, we visited the girls at the that ashram where those girls were trafficked.
I'm saying because you do important work, why are you trivializing the National Commission by taking something like this?
It is part of our job that we ask people who are in public life for explanations.
For you to sit there as a moral police.
No. See, if you tell me that Mulayam said this, did you summon him? Then it's roughly the same thing. How can you say that I can summon Mulayam? I'm sorry to keep using this particular gentleman's name, anybody's name. Say Mahesh Sharma, for example. It's a common accusation being thrown at me that because I'm a member of the BJP, therefore I only summon non-BJP people, especially AAP. That's not true. Okay, across the board we do it. Part of the job is to ask for an explanation.
So tell us about that.
We have. We've asked for explanation from several people. Several people include across the board. Again, as I'm saying, she'll probably tell you a few names from her party too. It has nothing to do with BJP versus Congress. Anybody in public life. In this country, people in public life have the habit of
you should make the
often
BJP
shooting them out
public, Lalita ji. Why you seek to
I did not make this public. Ashutosh made it public, and then I replied to questions that the media asked. I don't like making things public because more often than not, it creates a backlash like this, which makes it counterproductive in my work.
Okay.
No, when you issue a notice from a public institution, you made it public. No. It's not Ashutosh who made it public. That is a notice.
We didn't make it public, sir. He put it out on the, I don't know, WhatsApp or somewhere on the media.
Yes, that's true.
Not in his blog. His blog came before the summons.
The summons follows
his blog didn't follow the summons.
That's what I'm saying. The fact that you issued the summons, you brought yourself into the picture.
And have you summoned BJP leaders?
But not publicly. We sent him a summons which was not given to the press.
Okay, you finish.
The fact that we sent him a summons, he gave to the press, he pointed it out or he informed the press. After which we came into the public eye in this. Otherwise, it would have been a matter between a certain person in public life and the National Commission of Women, as it has been on many cases before.
You sent summons to BJP leaders also, which has been the accusation?
Yes, not exactly these accusations, but we've summoned the people on statements they have made.
Okay.
What you just said that Ashutosh took it to the press, that may be true, ma'am. But the question is, as a public institution, when you write a letter or you summon a person, you summon a leader, it's not supposed to be kept confidential. It will be known. So you have brought it into the public domain. You can't say that as a public institution I write a letter and it should be kept confidential. No, whatever you write is in the public domain. So whether Ashutosh brought it to the press or somebody else, no, you brought it to the public domain. You have disgraced a leader, our political party, and you have no grounds for issuing the summons is the charge I am putting to you. Even right now, you have not been able to substantiate why you wrote to him. I find nothing wrong that Ashutosh has done, number one. Number two, it amounts to abuse of power. It amounts to abusing this institution that you're using it in this way. Number three, you may be a very good person, ma'am. I don't know you at all, and I don't mean to be personal. But there is a conflict of interest. If you have been an executive in the BJP, today you are serving a notice on another political party that has thrashed the BJP in Delhi. There is a conflict of interest. I am not saying that you are not a good person, but institutions cannot be built up and operated when there is an apparent conflict of interest.
But that's a whole new argument. Should the political members be the head of such institutions? Because there have been Congress leaders head of NCW in the past.
Which is bad too.
Right, so that's another argument.
No, but then you also have Swati Maliwal as the head of the Delhi Commission for Women.
I'm saying all such appointments are bad. Okay. Human Rights Commission, everywhere. But here we are talking of this particular case. So where the fundas are flawed, I have to bring it out to your notice.
Okay. Now we have to end. So just quickly.
No, very quickly. I'm very sorry, but National Commission of Women has been very selective because you have your reactions to this, and I said at the outset, Mr. Ashutosh did Japtangat. However, what about, you yourself mentioned Mahesh Sharma was never summoned? Because, no, sorry.
Not publicly. Yeah. We don't send any summons publicly despite what the gentleman said. I'm sorry to interrupt, I'll keep quiet.
With the advisories he's given to the foreigners here, talks of Talibanization anyway. And then you have this Mr. Adityanath, you have the Muddal case where the Jat agitation with the government in power there they had got engaged with the rape, and we had all the undergarments lying on the road, not a question raised. And you said for 25 years, I'm very sorry, must put on record, 2002, Mrs. Purnima Advani is still sort of not remembered in the best of terms for not having got herself engaged at all, where women were tortured and their fetuses removed. And I was there in Gujarat, I've done a survey. Now, and I'm sorry to say, but so is the case with the Delhi Commission for Women. None of these MLAs were summoned. And when Mr. Kejriwal took a view on Mr. Sandeep Kumar, then Swati Maliwal, who otherwise, jumps in very, very prompt, but did not do it, and none of these MLAs, including Mr. Somnath Bharti, coming with racist comments, racist actions, made women urinate in public. None of these people really bothered about it.
Okay, we got your point, but we're out of time. So let her answer, then I'm going to end now. Yeah.
With regard to Muthal, we went there thrice. We even conducted an inquiry, and we have sent letters across the board to everybody in Haryana, whether it was at the district or the state level. We have a whole file. If you permit me and would like to, I would show you the file after this. Obviously. No, we have a whole file. We have please listen to me, sir. We have conducted an inquiry 3 times.
Have you recommended prosecution?
To anybody.
Police complaint.
We have recommended to the police that they take the necessary action under the law. There are certain words that are used in bureaucratic.
That's the criticism, that you just are a post office.
Perhaps, but the powers, we can only work under the mandate that is given to us.
And man, you cannot that post office also.
That is your personal view.
Okay,
but then I would also like to say that it's also, as you accuse me of, there is a conflict.
I'm not accusing you.
I'm allowed to use the words I want, sir. I'm sorry if it offends you.
But
I too have freedom of speech, even though I belong to the BJP and not the AAP.
I'm not accusing you.
I'm going to end this discussion
but let me finish. I'm just saying.
Ma'am, we're really out of time.
We do try to.
Can we all get one?
We do try to be absolutely non-partisan.
Okay.
But since I'm a member of a party, I will always be accused of being partisan. That people have the right to accuse me of it. I'm not even getting into that argument because I think that's a futile argument.
Okay.
What Purnima Advani may or may not have done, if you think it's wrong.
That's now I'm sorry for that.
That's the problem.
That is anyway, we're ending now. Thank you for watching this show. As you can see, we need to call them back again for a whole new show. But that's it from now. Thank you so much.